Two of the top scoring teams in MLS Next Pro meet up for the second time this season as New York Red Bulls 2 take on Philadelphia Union 2 from MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey. Welcome in. I'm Josh Toll. In the first meeting between these two, it went to a shootout with Philadelphia picking up the 2 points. Meanwhile, the Red Bulls come into today's game struggling, having lost 3 of their last 4. For Philadelphia, they come into the Garden State looking for their 3rd straight win and a chance to reclaim the top spot in the table. 5th all-time meeting between these two sides. Philadelphia has yet to lose during that time. 3 wins and 1 draw. They're looking for their 3rd straight win coming into tonight's game. As we take a look at the table, Chattanooga back up top with the shootout victory over Atlanta, so they are 2 points ahead of this Philadelphia Union 2 side. Meanwhile, Red Bulls 2 sitting right behind Chicago Fire. A win for them, and they will jump up to that 3rd spot where FC Cincinnati 2 currently sits. New York Red Bulls 2 here trying to get back to winning ways, have lost in back-to-back games. You're looking at their lone 2 goals these last 2 games, both coming from the PK spot from Ibrahim Kasule. They'll try to get a chance here in the run of play to get that goal and see if they can get the scoring flowing here early against this Union side. Here's the starting 11 for Ibrahim Sakaya. 4 changes from last week. Aiden Stokes getting a 6th start of the season, 11 goals allowed on the year, 10 saves. Steven Serwada in the first meeting between these two sides, he scored in that game. He's going to be big in that holding midfield position for the New York Red Bulls. Ibrahim Kasule, well, what does he do? He just scores goals. 5 goals on the season. He has scored in 3 straight games, hoping to make it 4 here today against the Union. For Philadelphia Union and Marlon LeBlanc, this will be his starting 11. 3 changes from last week. Andrew Rick getting his 9th start of the season, 8 goals allowed, 18 saves on the season. Look out for Sanders and Gabo, that defensive holding midfielder. He's going to play a big factor here, trying to slow down Julian Hall and Mohamed Sofo, as well as Kasule in that front line attack of New York Red Bulls 2. Eddie Davis tied for the team lead up top, 4 goals on the season. Him and Chris Donovan producing up front. Our referees today, our head referee, Jalen Gray, first assistant, Alexander Fassia, our second assistant, Joseph Knopf, and our 4th official, Hao Zong. Thrilled that you can join us here in match week 11. Beautiful day out in Montclair, New Jersey, here at MSU Soccer Park, as New York Red Bulls 2 gets set to host Philadelphia Union. Red Bulls will come out in their red kits with the white numbers. Meanwhile, for the Union, they'll be in their light white tops with the light blue shorts, black numbers. These two going in very different directions here these last 4 games. Philadelphia Union having won back-to-back games coming into today. Took down the Revs 2 last week, 3-1, and shut out Huntsville by a score of 2-0. And we are underway from MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey. Philadelphia Union looking for their 6th win of the season. Red Bulls hoping to find their 5th and their first home win of the year. Red Bulls struggling at home this season. Last year, tied for 2nd best with 8 home wins, as this is going to be played back and played out now by the captain, Aiden O'Connor. O'Connor has played every minute so far this season for the Red Bulls. Frankie Westfield, the captain on the other side for Philadelphia Union too. He's going to come throw it in. He has also played every minute so far for the Union. He'll get on the drop back, cuts it across. And this is going to be cut out and sent forward by the Red Bulls as they look to attack. As this is going to be sent right back in by Macania. Macania had a goal, his first ever in MLS Next Pro in the win against the Revs 2 last week. You look at these two teams and their style that they want to play. For the Red Bulls, it's aggressive, it's high intensity. They want to press. They'll rely on those deep runs, really trying to force the opponent to make the mistake in their own half. The problem with the Red Bulls this season is they're allowing too many deep balls over the top and too many counters for the opposition. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia and Marlon LeBlanc, he likes to play direct, little possession, straight to the point, get the ball into the attacking third. Wants to produce quick movements off the ball. These two teams met earlier down at Subaru Park with it going to a shootout. Philadelphia ultimately getting the win in the shootout 4-2. They will meet again in June. You get the long throw in from Westfield. Here's Soria. This will be ricocheted, and it's going to stay in as it just curls away from the end line. Mosquera started as a sub last week. We'll get the start this week here for the Red Bulls. Hope the 19-year-old can get it going. He just turned 19 on Friday, so happy late birthday to him. Red Bulls without Dylan Sullivan this week. He had the 2 yellow cards in the loss against FC Cincinnati, so he's suspended for this game. He's headed down by Estrella. Last touch by the Red Bulls. A win today will put the Union back atop of the table. Look at both these sides. Last 2 seasons for Philadelphia Union making the playoffs. Meanwhile, for the Red Bulls in their first season last year here in MLS Next Pro, they made it to the playoffs, went to the second round. O'Connor, 12th overall pick in this year's MLS Super Draft out of Virginia, plays it forward. Here's Andrew Rick. He's going to send it away for Philadelphia. Chested down by Westfield. He'll play it inside. Vasquez will play it out. Sakara with a little room on the touchline. Looking to cross one, will hold up. Nice nutmeg, but unable to regain possession. Sawada, he can't get the foot on it. Nice little slip ball, but unable to complete the pass with CJ Olney. Olney with an assist last week as Sakara will send it into the box. Headed up and out. Vasquez to his left foot, blocked aside. Sawada trying to slip it through, was looking for Julian Hall. Julian Hall has played 1 game with the first team this season for the Red Bulls. Mosquera giving chase. Look at this Philadelphia Union side, starting off on a 6-game unbeaten streak before the loss to FC Cincinnati by a score of 3-1 back on April 28th. They have been perfect here in the month of May. 2 wins so far over Huntsville as well as New England. Chris Donovan coming into this week, player of the week here in MLS Next Pro. Hall with a chance here. Plays it into the area. Hall looking to cut it back, and this will hit off Macania, and we'll have our first corner of the game going to the Red Bulls. New York Red Bulls looking to get off to a fast start. They can score 19 goals on the season, which is 4th best in Next Pro. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Union, they've just allowed 9 goals on the season, which is tied for 3rd fewest. Inward swinging ball set up. Played in deep. Handed back by Macania, and we'll have a corner from the other side now. New York without their leading scorer, Rold Mitchell, who has 8 goals on the season. Hasn't played with the second team since that game where he scored 4 goals against Chicago back in April. The service. Mosquera. He'll play it out wide. Mosquera at the top of the area with the right foot. Lets it fly just wide. The 19-year-old with a good look as Andrew Rick looks to play quick here on the counter. Olney ahead of everyone. Has runners on the opposite side of the box. Olney back post. His apologies to Davis, who was making that back post run, but a beautiful ball up by Andrew Rick, playing that quickly, trying to take advantage of that high back line. Look at this Red Bull side. They were off to their best start in club history, unbeaten in their first 6 games before being shut out by Columbus, but have struggled here, having lost the back-to-back games. You go back, their last win coming at the start of this month against Inter Miami by a score of 2-1. Vasquez plays it out. Mosquera playing in space, but Macania right there for the Union. Mosquera tripped up, doesn't get the whistle. Hit away by Pierre. Pushed forward by Sirwada. Out to midfield. Sofo in pursuit. Last week saw Sofo in the midfield for the Red Bulls. Now up at that front left wing spot. So getting a little bit higher up in the attack. Sirwada already active here in this opening 8 minutes of play. Also look at Gutierrez sliding over to the right back position. Normally a center back, as this is scooped up by Rick. So some changes made from Ibrahim Sakaya. Trying to change his team's direction here. Kasule. Vasquez trying to race to the ball, unable to get to it. Sanders goes down, and this will be a foul against the Red Bulls. They'll go against Sofo. Sofo will slow things up, but Philadelphia able to play out. Olney, diagonal ball. Nice ball there from Olney. Can he get Vasquez? He does. But a heavy touch there by Vasquez goes over the end line. David Vasquez getting the start today, 7th start of the season. Olney, always active. Westfield to his left, that's where he goes. The crossover to the spot, chipped on and in for the opening goal for Philadelphia Union in the 10th minute. Eddie Davis does it once again. Second time this season Davis has scored against the Red Bulls. Well, originally he began his career with the New York Red Bulls Academy before making his way to Philadelphia. Scored in the first game versus his former club and does it once again. Nice ball over here, right to the spot. Davis just waiting, chips it in with ease with the left foot. Third assist of the season for Frankie Westfield, the captain. 5th goal of the year now for Davis as he passes Donovan. We mentioned how many goals that the Red Bulls can score. Philadelphia Union just as dangerous. One spot behind them in 5th with goals scored on the year. 19 goals now scored for Philadelphia Union. Kasule looking to respond. Look at this Red Bulls side, much different looking team defensively this year in terms of how many goals they have allowed already. Hall cuts it across. With that goal, Red Bulls have now allowed the most in MLS Next Pro at 22. This ball chipped in. Westfield heads it away. Vasquez will chip it back. Flicked on by Davis. Ofori will get it back. Ofori came on as a sub last week in the loss. Gets the start here today. Second start of the season for Ofori. Ofori was the youngest signing in club history at 15 years and 122 days. now at the age of 18. Eddie Davis now tied for 6th in the league with goals scored with 5. Westfield able to keep it in play. Olney, nice looping ball, finds Westfield, crosses it, takes deflection from O'Connor, and now cleared away by the Red Bulls, but only as far here as Bertaccio, Sakara. Here's Sakara. Loses possession to Ofori. Sofo. Estrella able to get the whistle. Estrella, another one of those teenagers here on the Rebels, just 18 years old. Look at both these sides. Have a lot of youth, a lot of teenagers. Very few people in their 20s on both these sides. The team's really about developing the star players and moving them on to the next level. As this ball is pushed past midfield. Sakara flicks it up. Davis. Soria in pursuit. Ofori right there. Olney. Ofori. Go back to Red Bulls now have allowed the most goals on the season with 22. Last year they allowed the 3rd fewest with just 36. Red Bulls team, even with their struggles, they've scored in all but one game so far this season. How these clubs are so good at developing. You go back to Philadelphia Union, back-to-back U17 Generation Adidas Cup champions. You also look at their first team, 2022 MLS Cup runners-up. Serrata. Careless giveaway and then careless foul by the Red Bulls. Still have really yet to see Kasule get going here in this match. 3 straight games with a goal for Kasule. Back-to-back weeks scoring from the PK spot. Sakara, the player down. We're going to have our first booking of the game going against the Red Bulls. So we'll go back and we'll look at this foul. So Curtis Ofori handed the yellow card. Sakara on loan from Metropolitanos in Venezuela. Venezuela top league. Signed in June for more depth in the midfield. He's played with Venezuela's U20 side, including 2 appearances in the 2023 U17 World Cup where he had an assist. So hopefully he can pop right back up. Comes in for the Nick Pariano, who got injured 8 minutes into last week's game. 8 games in total here to close out this Sunday in match week 11. Had the one yesterday, Chattanooga getting the win in the shootout over Atlanta. How about Chattanooga in their first season, what they're doing right now at top of the table once again. Chicago with a big win earlier this week, moving them up in the table as they got the 2-1 win over Columbus, which moves them to 4th in the table. To start the week, that's where the New York Red Bulls sat. Philadelphia Union, just one of 2 teams with 1 loss on the season, the other being North Texas. 3 losses now for the Red Bulls. They've fallen to FC Cincinnati, Orlando City B, and Columbus on the year. It's a long look here at Sakara of the Union. He's able to stand up. Hopefully he'll be able to walk this off. So Sakara will head to the sideline to get looked at. See him walking around gingerly right now at the moment. Forey into the books for the Red Bulls. Red Bulls without Dylan Sullivan today. He was handed 2 yellow cards in the loss against FC Cincinnati. Was handed that second yellow card just 1 minute on into the second half. Soria. Davis, the goal scorer, at the end line. Gutierrez will drop it back. Davi Alexandre. Alexandre, a 17-year-old out of Queens, does have a goal on the season as he sends it up the field. Hall. Last year, this Union side finished 7th in the Eastern Conference to make the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. Once again, in a playoff position. Top 8 teams will move on this year as this is going to be flicked out. Nice touch they're going to say by Westfield. Westfield, one of the co-captains, along with Kyle Tucker. Possibly we could see Kyle Tucker here today. Right now, Red Bulls just having issues possessing the ball. Serwada. Gutierrez. Chipped on. O'Connor able to head it up, looking for a Forey. Sakara back on the field for Philadelphia. Mosquera dispossessed of the ball. Mosquera, though, able to win the ball back. But right to the feet now of Ngabo. Ngabo at that sixth spot, that defensive holding midfield position. A lot of times they go unnoticed in the game, but so good at just connecting those lines. Second of two meetings between these two teams this season. Last year, Philadelphia won all three. In the first meeting, it ended 1-1 in regulation. Philadelphia would get the win in the shootout at Subaru Park. You have to wonder if that might be Sakara down on the ground once again for Philadelphia. It is, so he tried to give it a go, and you wonder if he might have to be subbed out now. Marlon LeBlanc had to make an early substitution last week. Sakara right now taking a long walk. So now Kyle Tucker will come on. Kyle Tucker, the other captain for this Philadelphia Union side, brings age and experience, 24 years old, where you look at Westfield at 18. Two very different leadership styles, talking to Marlon LeBlanc earlier this season. You look at Tucker coming out of Drexel, where he was a teammate with Chris Donovan. All-CAA second team at Drexel, leading them in assists. He does have 1 assist on the year to go with 2 goals. Did have a beautiful goal off a set piece earlier this year against Atlanta. O'Connor. Stokes. Sofo able to get one defender. It's Tucker. Hall with an opportunity. I don't know if that was a pass to Kasule or if he wanted to go to the back post. But Kasule and Hall not on the same page. Kasule going right down the spine. Slowed up his run. Tucker. Ofori. Lofted ball looking for Hall. Olney. Kasule on his hip. Kept in by Gutierrez. Gives it over to Sirwada. Ofori pushing up. Has a little room. Couldn't get by the last defender there in Berdesillo. Soria for Davis. Great defensive play right there by the center back Alexandre to stop that run. Just did enough to stab the ball away to allow his defenders to get back in position. Here's Kasule. He'll play it out wide. Sent up by Ofori, looking for Sofo. See if the Red Bulls can get Kasule involved here a little bit more. Kasule tied for third all-time in goals now for the Red Bulls, too. Tied with Stefano Bonomo with 21. Second place is Jared Stroud, who has 22. Stroud currently playing with DC United. He has 1 goal and 6 assists on the year. And then in first all-time for the Red Bulls, you have Brandon Allen with 24. So a goal today, Kasule can move up and be tied for second. 3 goals will tie Brandon Allen. Look at Kasule as well as Rold Mitchell, the only 2 players with multiple goals right now on this Red Bull side. Kasule. Careless giveaway right there from Aiden Stokes. Vasquez now tying for the team lead in assists with Westfield, both with 3 on the year. Those 3 assists put them tied for 10th in MLS Next Pro. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Own goal for Philadelphia Union coming in the 10th minute by Eddie Davis, his 5th of the season. 7 different goal scorers in total for the Union this season. 6 of them with multiple goals. Makania, the only one that doesn't have multiple goals, and he just scored his first MLS Next Pro last week. Olney to his right foot. Olney probably would have been better off playing that out wide to Westfield. Wanted to work it inside, try to maybe bend it into the top corner. Olney, though, also one of those very creative players. Has no problem with his vision. Last year he had 8 assists, which was tied for 3rd in the league. Takes deflection right to Stokes. Ball one right back here by Vasquez, and Srawada able to regain possession. Both these two teams not afraid to press. Red Bulls more aggressive usually of the two. Both teams also really do not possess the ball. They just like to get up the field and go. This portion of the match is brought to you by your Tri-State Audi dealers. As we go to the hydration break, Philadelphia Union up 1-0 on the road against New York Red Bulls. Eddie Davis getting the lone goal so far, assisted by Frankie Westfield. We have had one sub with Giovanni Sequeira going off with an injury. Kyle Tucker coming on as we'll take a look back at this goal. Beautiful diagonal ball over to Olney. He'll play it to the overlap. And Westfield just cuts it right across, going right to the spot where Eddie Davis was waiting. Just taps it in with the left foot. 5th goal of the season for Eddie Davis. Davis, 17 years old. Mentioned how he began his career in the New York Red Bulls Academy. Has been Rising Star of the Month twice in back-to-back months, in March and April. Have to wonder if he can maybe make it 3 in a row. Player of the week last week, Chris Donovan for this Union side. Right now, Red Bulls trying to figure out how they can take advantage of the back line of Philadelphia. You have to wonder who's going to be that other goal scorer with Mitchell being out and Kasule there. Can Julian Hall produce up front as well as Mohamed Sofo? Sofo last season had 2 goals on the year. Also look at another player getting time with the first team, Wiki Carmona, for the Red Bulls. He's played in 12 games now for the first team, making 8 starts. Just see that path continue to develop for not just these two teams, but for all MLS clubs and their second teams. Look at the success of New York Red Bulls and their first team. 3 supporter shields for the first team. 2 times have reached the final of the U.S. Open Cup. Go back to this second team last year making the playoffs as this is flicked on. Afori at the edge of the area. Sofo has Tucker on, able to squeeze by Tucker as well as Vasquez. Serwada looks to measure it up, but right at the outstretched hands of Andrew Rick. Don't mind that shot from distance one bit. Just like to make Rick move a little bit. Davis has it into space, able to get back on it. Davis looking for a brace, brings it to his left foot. Davis hesitates, pokes it, stabs at it, and comes scooped up by Stokes. One too many touches right there for Davis. Might have been able to pass that ball off or maybe take the shot originally with the right foot, trying to drag it back to his left. Did a great job initially, just heading the ball of space to get to it. Kasule. Good ball forward. Mosquera cuts it back to his right. Bertasia loses his balance. Headed away by Westfield. Great ball in there by Mosquera. Was looking for Kasule. Shoulder to shoulder right there between Westfield and Kasule. Soria. Here's Tucker. Tucker ahead. Vasquez runs out of room. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hospital for Special Surgery. Mosquera turns away. Afori. Looping ball in. Gutierrez. Serwada chipping it over for Gutierrez. Serwada towards the end line. Long throw in. Mentioned 8 games today here in MLS Next Pro. One has come to a close. That between New England and New York City FC 2. How about the comeback for Revs 2? They trailed in that game 3-1. Were able to get it to a shootout where they won 4-3. FC Cincinnati 2 and Inter Miami currently scoreless in the 37th minute. forget, at half, we'll have highlights and stats from this game, and we'll also have Michelle Montaigne talking with the head coach of Philadelphia Union 2 and Marlon LeBlanc in our coach's corner. Just a few weeks ago was Ibrahim Sakaya for the Red Bulls that Michelle spoke with, as we'll have a foul here against Philadelphia. Don't forget, June 1st, Carolina Corps' first ever home match when they welcome Huntsville City at Truist Point. Our coverage will begin live at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on MLS Season Pass. Look at New York Red Bulls, one of 4 teams yet to have won a home game. The other being Carolina Corps, who obviously hasn't even played at home, but Truist Point is going to be rocking for that opening game against Huntsville City. O'Connor. Paul. Offside flag is up. Been a relatively quiet night so far from Mohamed Sofo as well. He leads the team in assists with 5 on the year, but hasn't been able to connect the dots with Hall or Kasule yet. Aiden Stokes with a start here today for the Red Bulls too. It's really been him and Alan Rakowski this season. Rakowski with 3 starts. A.J. Marcucci has started 1 game for the Red Bulls. Last year he was a finalist for Best Goalkeeper of the Year. Olney to the top of the area. Tucker giving chase, so is Mosquera. Estrella. Mosquera. He'll drag it back. See what the Red Bulls here can do before the break. Gutierrez. Diagonal ball into the center, looking for Kasule. Headed out, but only as far as Srawada. Ofori. Good to see you. He's done a really good job of being a pest at that outside back position here this afternoon. Just the 1 booking so far here in the opening half to Curtis Ofori of New York Red Bulls. It's been a pretty clean game between both these sides. Here's the captain, O'Connor. Offside flag up once again. Look at these 2 center backs, Neil Pierre as well as Macania for Philadelphia Union, doing a great job just being in the right position, not allowing any kind of dangerous moments up the middle so far for New York. Look at Pierre, just 16 years old. Meanwhile, Macania, 20 years old. Pierre, of course, one of those players that was part of last year's U17 generation Adidas Cup champions. Back seasons. The U17 side has won that for the Union. Estrella. Gutierrez. Vasquez goes inside for Davis. Srawada. The player down behind the play. It's Mosquera who's down for the Red Bulls. Mosquera able to pop up. We've already had one player leave due to injury, and that was Giovanni Sequeira for Philadelphia. Kyle Tucker subbed on for him. You go back to last week for Philadelphia's Nick Pariano had to be subbed off in the opening half play. Red Bulls to try and get that first goal here in the first half. You go back to last week, they're able to get the goal in the opening couple minutes of the second half from the spot from Ibrahim Kasule. But they would love to go to the break, all leveled up. Meanwhile, last week in the 3-1 win for Philadelphia over New England Revolution, they scored all three of their goals in the second half. Got the opener today in the 10th minute by Eddie Davis, his 5th of the season. Tucker looking for Soria, but over is O'Connor. Flory able to get back up. We'll have 6 minutes of stoppage time added on here to the first half of play. Chance here on another long throw coming for the Red Bulls. Westfield dragged to the ground by O'Connor. Kasule, Lafori, Estrella. They'll go back to midfield. The captain O'Connor. Another long ball here, as this is intended for Soria. Kasule. O'Connor. Alexandre. Only able to keep it in play to Westfield. Sawada. Sofo. Sawada lost possession. Ngabo. The idea right there, and what Vasquez wanted to do, trying to just play it to himself on the touchline to create a little space to work with. Vasquez plays it in, an opportunity maybe late, chipped on and just wide. Did Stokes get a piece of that is the question. Nice ball in, takes a deflection. Soria able to get his right foot, and then Stokes barely gets a piece of it from that angle. Yes, we'll have a corner. Soria was looking for his first goal. Was born in New York City. His family moved to Argentina when he was the age of 2 years old, dual citizenship. So Jalen Gray is going to have a little lecture to give here. 4 players hearing about it. 2 center backs, Macania, as well as Pierre. Mosquera, one of the players, and the smaller Sofo, who right now is trying to cover Pierre. Flick back. Hall. Vasquez on the touchline. Has numbers inside. Sends the ball with his left. Headed away by New York. Ngabo stays on his feet. Tucker. O'Connor with him defensively. They're going to say this is not shoulder to shoulder as O'Connor pleads his case. Quick restart the shot, and this is going to find it the corner of the net for Philadelphia Union in stoppage time of the first half. Well, the Union taking advantage of the quick restart, and it pays off. It's David Vasquez getting his first goal of the season. O'Connor complaining, Ofori complaining, and Tucker takes advantage, drops the ball off for Vasquez, and the rocket with the left foot to the top corner. Well, heads up play right there from the co-captain and Kyle Tucker. Knowing that New York was upset with the call, they wanted a shoulder to shoulder, they did not get it. Quick restart by Tucker, finds Vasquez, who finishes. Second assist of the season for the 24-year-old Kyle Tucker. Look at Vasquez getting his first goal of the year. A player that provides versatility as Hall looks to respond, trying to cut the lead in half. But Philadelphia Union, they love Vasquez. Talk about his intelligence, skillful with the ball. That time, showing off the left leg. Go back to earlier this season as well. David Vasquez as well as Neil Pierre called up to the US U19 in Morocco. Both making their debuts in friendlies against England. Mosquera. Last touch by Tucker. Third corner of the game here for New York. The service. Westfield there to clear it away, and that will be the whistle to close out the first half. A late goal in stoppage time by David Vasquez to give the visitors a 2-0 lead. It was Eddie Davis who got things going in the 10th minute. Plenty of production from the Union. New York Red Bulls, they need to find a way here to figure out a way to be creative in the attacking third, to get a shot on goal and just try to challenge Andrew Rick. As we go to the break, our score of the half, Red Bulls 0, Union 1. Coming up, Michelle visits the coach's corner when we come back after a short break.
Messi! Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta al frente. Servicio. El tiro. It's saved by Colin Connor. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. Golazo. Externa, va a definir Chicho. Saved by Connor. It's over.
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, pon las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Welcome back. Our halftime scores: New York Red Bulls 0, Philadelphia Union 2. Michelle Montaigne had a chat with Philadelphia Union 2 manager Marlon LeBlanc on their rise to the top of the East table. Here's our latest Coach's Corner.
What's up, guys? We're coming to you from the city of brotherly love with one of the coaches that we love, Marlon LeBlanc, the head coach of Philadelphia Union 2. Coach, thank you for sitting down with us.
Great to see you, Michelle. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages, so it's great to catch up.
Which I'm sure you're grateful for. Coach, every year you guys find yourselves in the postseason. Early this season, you're once again at the top of the standings. In your mind, which is harder, getting to the top or staying there?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd like to select all of the above if I can. It's a little bit of both, you know. Getting there and achieving what we've achieved so far with this young group has been absolutely, really just fantastic in every sense of the word. And for us to be able to repeat success over the first couple of years in MLS Next Pro and make the playoffs and to be where we are right now and doing what we're doing right now here in year 3 is exceptional. It really is truly a testament to the kids and the effort of the players and our young group and our staff that probably don't get as much credit as they deserve. And I think as the figurehead of this group, I probably get more than I deserve. But it's been a really great collective effort from everybody. And we take our lead from our first team. They've been the best team in MLS over the last 5 years or so, and we'd like to think that the organization, the model of what we have in place really leads to success across all of them.
As one of the few coaches who's been with the league since its inception in 2022, how have you seen it evolve over these last 3 seasons?
Yeah, it's exceptional, really, right? Just seeing the successes of the young players and coaches that have come through MLS Next Pro, and you're seeing some of the young guys that have come through and scoring Champions League goals. You're seeing guys scoring game winners in MLS. You're seeing coaches now leading first teams in Montreal. It's remarkable how this league has elevated players into the first division and coaches. Obviously, the league has grown quite a bit, and we know that on the surface. It's gone from 24 teams to 29 and continuing to grow. We've seen young players make it to the first team, coaches make their way through, but the level has gotten better too. The competition has been fantastic, and we've been one of the few teams that have been consistent across it, but you're seeing new teams get better really quick. I think this league's objective was to have this platform for young players and coaches to develop and to get better, and without a doubt, you're seeing that happen, and you're seeing it happen at a really, really high level in Next Pro. The competition, the preparation, the professionalism, even the broadcasting with Apple now has kind of elevated this league to a whole new status. So it's been impressive.
Yeah, you guys have been one of the kind of pillars of that exact succession. As you think about the pipeline, the established academy that you guys have, what do you feel like is really the root of the success in getting these guys up to the first team and having them have success once they get there?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, obviously the continuity. We have a playing style that's distinct. We have a style of play that is taught at the academy that goes to the second team and ultimately is driven by our first team. And it allows us to be able to have these players go up and down, back and forth, and really never miss a beat. But I also think the fact that, and it's really understated, is that all of our teams live in one place. We're all in Chester, Pennsylvania, right next to the stadium. So the academy, the second team, the first team all train at the same facility. We benefit from our school being here as well. And so we have this process and this methodology that kind of, it goes right through in and out of our club. And I think it puts us in a really unique advantage that we're all literally at the same place at the same time every single day, seeing each other. Jim's working with our 17s. I'm bringing some of the kids in, first team, and younger players coming through. It really is an incredible environment to be able to be a young professional in.
What is the approach with these young guys who have such high expectations put upon them?
Yeah, it's a really holistic approach. You know, the high expectations are for literally every kid that comes into this academy, and I don't know if that's necessarily driven by us versus what we've built here over the last 10 plus 15 years. This academy has become a world-renowned name in player development, not just for our first team, but around the world, and players going off into Europe. And so each one of these young players, Kevin Sullivan, David Vasquez, CJ Olney, Andrew Rick, all of these young guys have these massive ambitions for themselves, which it's our job to support and to try and help them reach those lofty goals that they've set for themselves. Our role and our objective is to provide them a platform and an environment where they can achieve everything that they want to achieve as young players. And I think they all see themselves as the next Brendan Aronson or Paxton Aronson or Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, whoever it is that's come through this club that's gone on to great success. They all want that too. And we'll just continue to cultivate and foster an environment that allows them to be the best that they can possibly be. And I think we will do a really, really good job here in our academy and in our second team of providing that opportunity for them.
Yeah, being in a role where you get to have so much influence at the pivotal times in their development, what is maybe your favorite part about your current job?
Yeah, my favorite part is not qualifying for the playoffs or winning, a big game. My favorite part is getting to stand there with David Vasquez and hold his shirt with him and take a picture with him, and seeing the smile on his face that he's made it to the first team. And the same with Kevin and Andy Rick and all these guys who have come through. like I said, the Aaronsons before, Quinn Sullivan before his younger brother Kevin, and McGlynn and Harriel. That for me has been the most rewarding part of this whole experience, is being a part of their journey, and just being there to help them and help them get to where they want to get to. And look, people will forget who last year's MLS Next Pro champion was, and they'll forget who this year's will be, and they'll forget me along the way. But for a brief moment in their journey, I get to be a part of it, and that in itself for me is the reward that is going to last much longer than any wins or losses will.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's forgetting you anytime soon, Coach, but thank you so much for all of the time today.
Thanks, Michelle. Great seeing you.
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta al frente. Servicio. El tiro. It's saved by Carlos. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área le pega. Golazo. Externa va a definir Chicho.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size. Cream on cream? The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
45 minutes down at MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey. Visitors on top as Philadelphia Union leads 2-0 over the New York Rebels as we take a look back at the first half highlights between these two sides. And for Philadelphia Union, they would get off onto the front foot quick here. A nice ball played in by the Red Bulls up to Mosquera. Gets a good shot on, just wide of the target. And then here, a beautiful diagonal ball finding Olney. Olney's going to drop it off on the overlap to Westfield. Westfield's going to cut it back right into the path of Eddie Davis, his 5th goal of the season. That goal coming 10 minutes into the game. 3rd assist of the year for Frankie Westfield, the captain of this side here today. Here, a quick restart by Tucker. Kyle Tucker coming on as a sub, finds Vasquez. Vasquez with a left foot blows it right by Aiden Stokes to get the 2nd goal. That coming in stoppage time here of the opening half of play. A strong way to close out the first half, a disappointing way to close out the first 45 minutes for the Red Bulls. As we take a look at the stats, 3 shots on target for Philadelphia Union, just 1 for the Red Bulls. Meanwhile, 3 corners to 1. Yellow cards, the only one going out to Curtis Ofori, even though we have 10 fouls for New York and 9 for Philadelphia. You look at this Red Bull side, they love to play aggressive, and we've seen that hurt them so much here this season in terms of players and teams just able to take advantage, get on the shoulder of that back line, make some runs, get those deep balls over the top, and then you had the quick restart, the smart play by Kyle Tucker to help get the second goal of the game for Philadelphia Union. But Red Bulls are going to have to find a way to be creative up front here in the second half as we take a look back at the scores from this week in MLS Next Pro. How about Houston Dynamo going on a little roll here, unbeaten in their last three as they win 2-0 over St. Louis. Toronto taking down Carolina Core. Chicago Fire with a win over Columbus Crew. North Texas still with just the one loss as they took down Real Monarchs by a score of 2-1. Chattanooga back at the top of the table with their shootout win yesterday. So a win for Philadelphia Union. They will move up to that first spot in the standings. Meanwhile, if the Red Bulls are able to get back in this game, they could possibly move up to third in the table. Match week 11 here at MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey, as we get set for the second half between New York Red Bulls 2 and Philadelphia Union 2. Josh Toll with you this evening. Thrilled that you can join us. You have to think Philadelphia is going to continue to apply the pressure on the Red Bulls, see if they can get that third goal and try to put this one away. They have never lost to New York. 3 wins, 1 draw all time against Red Bulls 2. And Jalen Gray will give us the go-ahead here on the second kick as this is going to be intercepted right away by Tucker. Tucker came on in the first half as a sub for Giovanni Sequeira. That's the only sub so far of this game. This ball intended for Soria as it's cleared away by O'Connor. O'Connor getting the captain's armband once again for the Red Bulls. He has played every minute so far this season for New York. On the other side, Westfield, the only player to play every minute. Ngabo will play it out wide. Westfield. Westfield in the channel. The service into the box. I don't know if that was a cross or a shot there to that back corner. A nice ball in. Waiting on the back post with Soria for Philadelphia. That was misjudged right there as well by Aiden Stokes. I think he wasn't quite sure if it was a shot or a pass. Kanye doing a good job just shielding away Mohamed Sofo. Kanye getting his first goal in MLS Next Pro last week in the win against New England Revolution 2. Philadelphia Union having won back-to-back games coming into this game. Took down Huntsville by a score of 2-0. And then went on to beat Revs 2 3-1. All those goals coming in the second half for Philadelphia. Back-to-back losses coming into today's game for the Red Bulls as they hope to change that here in the second half and get back into this one as Pierre sends the ball forward, looking for Davis, who has the opening goal in this game. Davis looking for a second and denied by Stokes. And we'll have a foul against C.J. Olney. Well, at the end of the first half, New York Red Bulls won a foul against Tucker. He got up, played quickly, was able to assist on the second goal for Philadelphia Union to Vasquez. Tucker. Vasquez. Tucker tripped up by Srawada, and that will draw the whistle. And we're going to get our second booking of the game. So Steven Srawada will go into the books here in the 48th minute. Clear foul. Philadelphia now third in MLS Next Pro with 20 goals on the season. Right ahead of them is Chattanooga, leading the league. Sporting Kansas City 2 with 22 on the season. Rebels side, they've allowed the most goals in the league. They've now allowed 21 on the season. Should say it's 23 now on the season. They were tied at 21 with the Rapids coming in to today's game. Last year, that was such a strong part of their game defensively, just allowing the 36 goals on the season. Eight games going on here this Sunday. All right, one coming to a close, and New England coming from behind to get the 2 points on the shootout against New York City FC. Let's see who the New York Red Bulls we'll see next week. The Hudson River Derby for you. Right now, self-inflicted wounds hurting New York. Just giving the ball away too easily. Olney in the channel. Gutierrez with him defensively. Olney able to get around him. Sofo can't beat Ngabo to the ball. Davis turns away. O'Connor. Just a poor first touch right there by Kyle Tucker. If he can collect that ball, he's going to be right on the half turn with a chance to either dish that ball off to Soria or take a shot himself. Might have been overthinking that pass as it came to his foot. This Philadelphia Union 2 side, just one of two teams with one loss on the season, the other being North Texas. As this ball is played in and stopped by Stokes. Soria was the player lurking at that top of that 6-yard box for Philadelphia. Tucker. Just too heavy of a touch right there. Had Davis inside. He had Soria on the outside that he could have gone to. Lone loss of the season for Philadelphia. Come to FC Cincinnati. 3 on the year at the moment here for New York. They come in having lost back-to-back games in 3 of their last 4. Their 3 losses, FC Cincinnati, Orlando City B, and Columbus. Estrella turns inside. Vasquez clips him, and this will draw the whistle. Coming into this game, New York 4th most goals scored on the season with 19. Struggling right now to get anything of worth on target. One shot that Andrew Rick saw was straight at him. Headed up. Look at this Red Bull side. They've scored in all but one game as well so far this season. And they can light it up. Again, you go back to that game against Chicago. Rold Mitchell had a brace within 6 minutes. Ultimately finished the first half with 4 goals. So they can produce. It's just a matter of doing it. Just to do players with multiple goals on the season, and Kasule as well as Mitchell. So that's going to be the question. Who's going to be the next person that produces? You look at Julian Hall, Wiki Carmona playing with the first team as Soria pushes up. Sends in an early ball across. Olney. Ngabo. Headed down. Here's Julian Hall, one of those players with a goal on the year. Davi Alexandre, another one who just who mishandles it. Vasquez to the top of the area. Great opportunity right there from Olney. He wanted that near post. Vasquez just looking and sees that he has numbers in the box. Olney calling for it. That might have been better off left for Soria. Two players right in the same area. Steven Serrata, who's on the field right now, he does have a goal on the season. They just need someone to produce an effort, try to challenge Andrew Rick. Maybe they can get the keeper of Philadelphia to spill the ball and get a rebound and put in. Scoop ball. Oh, nice chip on for Ofori. And a poor touch right there by Ofori to give it right back to Philadelphia. You look at these two teams, both started out so strong. New York onto their best start of the season. They were unbeaten in their first 6 games. Meanwhile, Philadelphia Union, too, also starting off their first 6 games unbeaten for their first loss against FC Cincinnati. That back on April 28th. Perfect in the month of May, 2-0. Chris Donovan with his brace in the win over New England Revolution was named Player of the Week here in MLS Next Pro. Look at Kasuli, who was Player of the Month back in March for New York Red Bulls. Last season, Kasuli scored 15 goals, which tied a club record. Scored in 7 straight. Right now, he scored in 3 in a row. Now tied for 3rd all-time in scoring for the Red Bulls. Stefan Bonobo also with 21. Jared Stroud with 22. And Brandon Allen with 24. On the head coach, Marlon LeBlanc, with Michelle Montaigne in our coach's corner this week. But you look at both these two clubs, so good at developing players and sending them up to the first team. Mentioned Jared Stroud, who's 2nd all-time in scoring for New York Red Bulls too. He played shortly with the first team, now with DC United, where he has 1 goal and 6 assists on the season. But you look at some of the players that have come through both these sides. Daniel Edelman, John Tolkien, Wiki Carmona, who I've mentioned a couple times, has already played in 12 games this year, started 8. Roldan Mitchell has played in a couple. Julian Hall has played in 1. Of course, Tyler Adams being called into the men's U.S. national team camp was a big part with the New York Red Bulls. And then on the other side, Quinn Sullivan, first team. Brendan Aronson also called into the U.S. camp. Paxton Aronson, Jack McGlynn with the first team. Jeremy Raffanello, who played in both these 2 academies. But you see the production and the players moving on to whether it's the first team or even overseas in some cases. Then you get the national team representation from Tyler Adams as well as Aronson. Ofori. I like the idea there with the slip ball to Julian Hall, but too much weight on the pass from the outside back. Mentioned those first team players for these two sides. MLS Next Pro surpasses 100 players signed to MLS first team contracts. Jason Russell Rowe of Columbus, Benjamin Kramaski of Inter Miami, a couple of those players. Nikola Pekovic Also another one, Luka Gavran of Toronto on that list. Paul Walters, FC Cincinnati, just to name a few. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. How about New York City FC, too, making a historic run, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Fortunately, that run ended on Tuesday, the 21st of May, as they fell to New Mexico United by a score of 3-0. But being that they were the only club remaining from Division III, they earned themselves $25,000. So they have to love that. And what they can use with that money is this is played forward. Mosquera denied of the ball. Good job there by Pierre. Estrella has numbers inside. He's been solid defensively at that outside back position, but no, they're going to call a foul on Berdecio. So we're going to have a free kick here from a very dangerous position for the Red Bulls. Trying to get that first goal on the scoreboard. Sofo places the ball down. Sule also right on top of the ball right now. Sofo. Ofori. Soria. Tucker has Soria to his right. Cuts inside. Tucker able to elude Estrella, drops it back, but Sirwana right back defensively in good position. Good slalom right there by Tucker to get around a couple defenders. Tucker with the assist on the Vasquez goal and stoppage time of the first half. So Frank Sebufu, he's going to come in, and he'll replace Rafael Mosquera. We'll also have a pair of subs for Philadelphia, as Kevin Sullivan will come on. Kevin Sullivan will replace Eddie Davis, the goal scorer who scored the first goal of the game. Here's an opportunity early. The shot's going to be blocked aside by O'Connor. This is Marcus Anderson, who just subbed on for Philadelphia. Anderson in his first season with the club after coming over from the third division in Spain. Another dual citizen. Kevin Sullivan also coming onto the field, and more on him in a moment if you haven't heard that name. Olney. post ball. Intended for Kevin Sullivan. Also there was Pierre. Kevin Sullivan, the younger brother of Quinn Sullivan, who's on the first team. That's won back-to-back U17 Generation Adidas Cup titles with this Union side at the U17 level. 2024 Generation Adidas Cup Rising 11. Dual citizen of USA and Germany. Youngest player signed to a first team. Largest homegrown contract signed for the next 4 years. Just 14 years old right now. He will not turn 15 until the end of September. But high hopes for Sullivan, the younger brother of Quinn Sullivan. Again, you go back to that piece from Michelle Montaigne, just the success and the ability of Philadelphia Union to develop the talent, to find the talent, to ultimately produce players that will go on and play for the first team as well as overseas. Calvin Sullivan, one of those high players that they have high hopes for. A lot of other players as well on this Union 2 side. Pierre, the center back. And Vasquez is going to be called for the trip there. Vasquez, another one of them. Look at Vasquez as well as Pierre. Earlier this year, called up the US U19 side. Back when they played in Morocco, making their debuts in friendlies against England. Westfield heads it down. Westfield, he had the assist on the opening goal to Eddie Davis. And that's where we sit, 2-0 in favor of the visitors. Sawada looking for Kasule. Kasule, Minyaka right on his hip. Estrella. Kasule looping ball in. Headed away. There to see you all over the place for Philadelphia. Anderson fighting for position. Sofo. And Sawada, he'll be called from the foul from behind. He does have to be careful. He has a yellow card in today's game. Before the other player with yellow. New York Red Bulls missing Dylan Sullivan, who is out this game. He was handed 2 yellow cards in the New England Revolution game. This portion of the match is brought to you by your Tri-State Audi dealers. Vasquez, 2 defenders on him, loses possession. Good job there by Sofo, coming back to help defensively with Ofori. O'Connor. This will be good effort right there by Kasui. Get the ball. Sebufu cuts it back. A chance for Sofo to his right, and Sofo puts the home side on the scoreboard in the 68th minute. Well, it was Frank Sebufu who comes on as a sub. Drops this ball off into the path of Mohamed Sofo. Great effort by Kasule. Keep that ball alive on the end line. Nice little cutback pass to Sofo. The patience there as he brings it to his right foot. He goes back post for the opening goal here in the second half for the New York Red Bulls. First goal of the season for Sofo. Leads the team in assists on the year with 5. Last year he had 2 goals on the year. Big moment right there for him as well as New York. Also, you look at that moment for Frank Sebufu. He's been struggling this season. Last year, he produced 8 goals and 4 assists, did not have a goal or assist coming into today's game. Gets his first assist of the season. But how about Kasule just keeping that ball alive on the inline? Looked like Westfield was going to be able to usher it out of play, unable to do so. Now looking to tie it up. Flick back. Gutierrez. Kasule. Kasule gets on top of the ball. Kasule back with it. No quitting, Kasule. Gutierrez. Well, you have to like the effort here right now by New York Red Bulls. Confidence building after that goal. But still, showing the effort by Kasule, keeping that ball alive on the inline to find Sebufu. Sebufu doing the smart thing, dropping it off, knowing that Sofo has a better opportunity on the shot to get the first goal of the game for New York. You now have 20 goals on the season. Mohamed Sofo now the 8th difference goal scorer for the Red Bulls on the season. Philadelphia switching sides. Verdicchio. Vasquez tried the nutmeg on Ofori, unable to get it by. Here's Sullivan. Vasquez will set up with the left foot. Only with the right. 5 players at the top of the area for Philadelphia. It'll be Vasquez. Chance here for Anderson. New York wanted a handball there, didn't get it. Aiden Jarvis now will come in for New York. Bento Estrella will head off the field. Jarvis started last week. Will come on as a sub to close out this final 18 minutes or so. Jarvis, 17 years old, made his debut last year from the academy. O'Connor for Sofo, the goal scorer. An offside here against New York. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hospital for Special Surgery. Both goals for Philadelphia coming in the first half. The first one in the 10th minute, the second one coming in stoppage time by Vasquez. New York Red Bulls lone goal coming in the 68th minute by Mohamed Sofo. Sullivan out wide. Gets it on the return pass. Bulls doing a good job here tonight preventing any corner kicks for Philadelphia Union. They just have the one so far. Philadelphia came in second in the league in corners taken on the season with 57 behind Atlanta United. Both these two teams started out unbeaten their first 6 games. Union have won back-to-back games as they try to make it 3 in a row. Meanwhile, for Red Bulls, they have lost back-to-back games in 3 of their last 4. Last win coming against Inter Miami. Long throw here for Gutierrez. And a corner here for the Red Bulls. Outward swinging ball here from Sofo. 4th corner of the game for New York. Near post. I'm going to say last touch by Kasule. Gauntlet of games here for Philadelphia. Up next for them, they'll host Columbus. Columbus right now 5th in the standings. That game will be at 6 p.m. Eastern next Sunday. Meanwhile, for the Red Bulls, they will take on New York City FC at 7 p.m. next Saturday. Then Hudson River Derby. Oh, nice job by Anderson. Get by O'Connor. Verdicillo. Hard challenge right there by Aiden Jarvis, who just subbed on. Don't miss Carolina Corps' first ever home match on June 1st when they welcome Huntsville City to Truist Point. Our coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern only on MLS Season Pass. Ngabo drops it off. Scoop pass for Anderson, diving header! And that one gets by for the 3rd goal of the game for Philadelphia Union. How about that from Marcus Anderson? Beautiful scoop ball. O'Connor heads it back. Srawada and Jarvis not on the same page, allowing Ngabo to get to the ball. A nice little scoop ball for Anderson. Goes full out Superman and gets the goal, and only with the assist. Only back-to-back weeks with an assist for Marcus Anderson. His first MLS Next Pro goal. So only with his 3rd assist of the season. Last year he had 8 assists. Look at Marcus Anderson. Played youth soccer with the Manhattan Kickers before heading over to Spain. Now back in the States. Anderson, 20 years old, out of Brooklyn, New York. His first MLS Next Pro goal. Big moment for him, and a beautiful goal on that diving header. Jarvis. Serwada. We get on the return pass. Over to O'Connor. Pierre. Sebufu. Sofo. Oh, nice little slip ball finding Hall. Great idea, just unable to link up in the end. Sullivan overruns the ball. And we'll have a yellow card handed out. Let's see, Tucker or Berdecito. I think it's going to go against Berdecito, but we'll wait for confirmation. It will go to Berdecito. First booking of the game for Philadelphia. Serwada. Serwada out wide. Too heavy of a touch there for Ofori. This scoreline is to hold. Philadelphia will leap the newcomers in Chattanooga to that top spot. They'd be 1 point ahead of Chattanooga. Berdecito plays it inside. Anderson. Ofori. Stokes. We'll have a foul here. Called against the Red Bulls. Let's see where this ball is placed. Just about a yard out of the area for Philadelphia. Cal Tucker and Olney, both of them have scored from a free kick earlier this season, both against Atlanta. Vasquez over there as well. So you have Olney, Tucker in the middle, Vasquez on the right hand. Vasquez with the left, Tucker with the right. Look at Olney. No one marking him at the top of the area. He's got a clear lane if he wants to use it, if that's where they decide to go on the set piece opportunity. Vasquez trying to bend it in, and he does! What a ball in by Vasquez, and he has a double on the day. Look at this bending ball on the surface. Just goes through. David Vasquez has a brace for Philadelphia Union. Vasquez with his first 2 goals of the season. Now Malik Dembele will come on for Serwada. Gavin Wetzel will come on for Philadelphia. Also, Carlos Rojas will come on for the Union. So Wetzel will come on for Bertazio. Service into the area, and a corner here for Philadelphia.
New York Red Bulls 2 substitution. Entering the match in the 84th minute. Number 19.
And then Kyle Tucker will head off, and Rojas will come on.
Dembele replaces number 65, Steven Serrano.
59th corner now of the season here for Philadelphia.
Substitution. Entering the match, number 42, Carlos Rojas Torres.
Inward swinging ball set up.
Rojas Torres replaces number 88, Kyle Tucker.
High arcing ball, headed up into the air.
Also entering the match for Philadelphia.
You look at Donovan last week, player of the week here in MLS Next Pro. You have to wonder if it might be David Vasquez
Number 30, Javier
getting it here for Philadelphia Union.
substitutions occurring in the 84th minute.
Here's Sullivan. Sullivan to his left, a shot, and it's going to be stopped by Stokes. Sofo. Kasule. Pass intercepted by Westfield. Anderson. Anderson wins the ball back. Played off the back heels there, Sullivan. You want to go out wide to Olney. Here's Hall. Hall unable to get around Macania. Westfield. Rojas sends it to Sullivan. And Gabo for Anderson. Anderson looking for a brace. Anderson, and he'll find it. So Anderson with a brace and Vasquez with a brace for Philadelphia Union as they put this one to bed. Gabo with a nice ball over to Anderson, and he does the rest. Creates a little space to get around, to get a good look, and gets it right by Stokes. And Gabo with his first assist of the season. Well, coming into this game, all but one player had multiple goals on the year. Kanye was that one player, and then you get Vasquez, who scored his first and then his second goal of the season, and then Marcus Anderson comes on as a sub. It's his first and then his second of the year. So Kanye will remain, at least right now, the only player with a single goal out of the goal scorers in total. 9 different goal scorers on the year now for Philadelphia. Sullivan maybe looking to add his name to the list. Rojas. With this, about 2 or 3 minutes remain, depending on how much stoppage time. Maybe we can get a hat trick here today as well. And Gabo. And for the Red Bulls, their struggles unfortunately continue for them as they'll still look for that first win of the season. Up next for them on the road, playing crosstown rivals in the Hudson River Derby in New York City FC. You do look back at that New York City FC game earlier today against New England Revolution. They blew a 2-goal lead. Red Bulls have proven that they can score, just still having issues defending and preventing goals from happening. It always seems like it's multiple goals when they allow that first one. Teams just keep piling on. They need to find a way to be better in their defensive third. Anderson, Sullivan, he'll turn aside. Over the head up here, rare mistake right there from Minkanya. Pierre. 4 minutes of stoppage time added on.
4 minutes of stoppage time in the second half. 4 minutes.
O'Connor's going to be called for the foul as he pushed down Anderson. Oh, they're going to call that actually against Anderson. Unless they actually offside flag was up. And now Pierre will just shepherd this out of play. If you're head coach Marlon LeBlanc at Philadelphia Union too, you got to be thrilled with the way that your team came in and performed here on the road. After falling to FC Cincinnati, have now won 3 in a row. Perfect in the month of May. They could probably be up for Team of the Month here in the month of May. Vasquez looking for that hat trick. Ahead of everyone. Vasquez cuts it back to his left. Drops it off for Anderson. Well, yeah, Vasquez and Anderson both sitting on braces. Neither one could get that third goal. Maybe another chance. Rojas from long range. Corner coming. The service. DeBelle. Pierre able to get back in position. And then we'll have the trip. You look at this 3-game winning streak for Philadelphia, outscoring their opponents 10-2 in that time. Averaging just over 3 goals a game. Meanwhile, for the Red Bulls, this 3-game losing streak, allowing 11 goals to just 3. Even with his performance by the Red Bulls, they were able to get Frank Seibufu going last year. 8 goals, 4 assists, gets his first assist of the season on the Sofo goal. And Malik Dembele will be handed the yellow card. Sofo getting his first goal of the season.
Issued a yellow card to New York Red Bulls to number 90, Malik Dembele, in the 94th minute.
Again, next up for this Red Bull side on the road in the Hudson Derby against NYCFC 2. That one will kick at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia Union 2, they will host Columbus. That game will kick at 6 p.m. Eastern. That one will be next Sunday. Red Bulls, for whatever reason, this year struggling at home, have yet to win. Last year they had 8 wins at home. Meanwhile, on the road, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So Anderson able to get up and walk off under his own power. He has a brace in the game today. Look at this Philadelphia Union side. They'll get their 3rd road win of the season and move up to that top spot in the standings. And there is the final whistle to close this game out as Philadelphia Union just opened things up late in the second half, gained the victory by a score of 5-1. It was tough to pick tonight's man of the match. Really could have gone for multiple players of Philadelphia Union, but tonight's man of the match is David Vasquez of Philadelphia Union. It's presented to you by Adidas. How about this quick start right here by Tucker? Gets the ball off to Vasquez, and just the left-footed rocket goes top corner for the Union. And then how about this bending ball? Just finds the back post for his 2nd goal of the game. Marcus Anderson would also come on and get a brace for Philadelphia Union as Philadelphia improves to 6 wins on the season. They now have 23 points on the year as they jump into the top spot, leapfrogging Chattanooga. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Josh Toll. Once again, our final score is New York Red Bulls 1, Philadelphia Union 5. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Thank you and good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.